Hi, second graders. Today is Friday, March 27th, and we are on Module 6, Lesson 5. Our objective for math today is to compose arrays from rows and columns and count to find the total using objects. So today we're going to introduce a new concept to build on what we've been practicing with equal groups and repeated addition sentences. The first thing I want to talk about is this word arrays. Arrays are when we create our arrangements in rows and columns instead of just groups. Rows go left to right, side to side. You can think of rows like in a movie theater, rows of seats. They go side to side. Columns go up and down. Okay, so when we're creating our arrays today, we're going to think of rows as going side to side and columns going up and down. At this time, I'm going to get started with our first example. If you have manipulatives that you would like to use to work along with me, go ahead and grab them now. We are going to start with 6 counters or 6 of whatever material it is you are using. Okay, so here I have 6 counters, and I have arranged them into 2 groups of 3. I know that there's 6 altogether because I could do my repeated addition sentence, 3 plus 3 equals 6. But I don't have an array here because they're just in groups. I don't see rows or columns. So I'm going to leave my 6 counters. I'm not going to add any more or take any away, but I'm going to arrange them into a rectangular array so there's some order to them. So I'm going to move them into rows and columns. I'm going to kind of spread them out. Now you can see here that I still have my 6 counters, but now I clearly can see the amount of rows that I have and the amount of columns that I have. I want to start by looking at the rows. Now remember, rows go left to right or side to side. I'm going to count the number of rows that I have. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 rows in this array. Now I'm going to leave my array the way it is, but this time I want to look at the columns. I'm going to circle the columns. Remember, columns go up and down. 1, 2. So I have 3 rows, but I have 2 columns. And there's 2 different repeated addition sentences I could write to match this. If I wanted to look at my 3 rows, I could look at how many are in each row. 2 plus 2 plus 2, which equals a total of 6. Or I could do a repeated addition sentence based on my columns. My first column has 3, plus my second column has 3, for a total of 6. Either way, looking at rows or columns, I should get the same answer because I'm not changing the number of counters that I have. At this time, I'm going to move into example 2, and I'm going to use 12 counters. So go ahead and add some more if you're working along with me. Okay, at this time I have 12 counters, but they're not arranged in a way that shows an array with rows and columns. I'm going to go ahead and group my counters into an array, but there's many different ways you could do this. If you come up with an array that's different than mine, that's okay, or you can match the one I make. So quickly go ahead and move your 12 counters into an array with rows and columns. Okay, when you're done with your array, you should very clearly be able to see the rows and the columns that you have created using your counters. First, I'm going to look at the rows, and I'm going to circle the rows as I count them. Remember, rows go left to right, side to side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I was going to write a repeated addition sentence for my rows, it would be 3 in the first row, plus 3 in the second row, plus 3 in the third row, plus 3 in the fourth row, equals a total of 12 counters. Now I'm going to leave my array the way it is, but I'm going to focus on the columns. I'm going to circle them as I count them. 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. And if I was going to write a repeated addition sentence for my columns, there's 4 in the first column, plus 4 in the second column, plus 4 in the third column, for a total of 12 counters. At this time, I'm going to clear the board off and get ready for our daily word problem. Our word problem today says Cassidy is in line at the store. There are 4 lines and 3 people are in each line. I'm going to stop right here because there's important information that I need to look at before I can move on. The first thing that stands out to me is that there are 4 lines. So in my head, I'm imagining 4 lines of people. And I know that there are 3 people in each line. Part A is asking, draw an array to show the people in line at the store. Instead of drawing, I'm going to use my counters. You can use your manipulatives, or you can go ahead and create a drawing to show the model that we'll create for this word problem. I know that there are 3 people in the first line. I know that there are 3 people in the second line. I know that there are 3 people in the third line, and 3 people in the fourth line. I've now created an array to model what this question is asking. I have rows and columns. I have 4 lines, and I have 3 people in each line. Part B says, write the total number of people. For this example, I'm going to look at the lines, or the columns in this case, and count them that way. I've got 3 people in the first line, 3 people in the second line, 3 people in the third line, and 3 people in the fourth line. If I wanted to drop below and come up with a more efficient number sentence to find my total, my 3 plus 3 can make 6, plus 3 plus 3 makes 6, and I know 6 plus 6 is a total of 12. My answer for this question would be, there are 12 people in line altogether. Thanks for checking in for today for Module 6, Lesson 5. I hope you found this helpful. Go ahead and continue on with your workbook pages and check in next week for Module 6, Lesson 6. Bye!